Hi kids, and it's another story time in Ansley's car. It's raining now, so I'm going to tell you a story while I wait for the rain to stop, and I'm going to try and talk over the rain. I promised you a obscure one. This is obscure. It's called Maid Maleen. It is in Grimm's, but nobody ever retells it. It's a ugly girl, pretty girl story. If you know any stories like that, like the Goose Girl, that's one where the ugly girl is the bad one and the pretty girl is the good one. You see it a lot. This is one of those with a case of mistaken identity. I've got some thoughts about stories like that. If you ever want to hit me up and we can talk about them, including this one. But Maid Maleen is a story about a princess. There are actually, fairy tales about princesses. They're not as common as you've been led to believe, but they do exist. Maid Maleen is one of them. And Maid Maleen's daddy doesn't like the man she loves. And so he says, you're going to marry somebody else. And Maid Maleen says, but daddy, I love him. And her dad says, well, let's see about that. Come talk to me again in a few years. And he bricks her up in a tower. What an asshole. She, unlike Rapunzel, actually decides to do something about it, at least after a couple of years. She realizes that her food and water are running out, and she's gonna get out of here on her own. Her man never came for her, so I guess this is up to her. She starts scraping through the brick wall, you know, with her fingernails. And she finally makes a hole big enough to stick her arm out as her food and water finally run out. And there's nothing in arm's reach except for a nettle plant, which, like, insult to injury, you know? Nettles. So she eats nettles until she can make the hole big enough to crawl out of. And then she goes looking for her man and her father to give them both a piece of her fucking mind, because her man didn't come for her and her daddy locked her up. So now they've got Maid Maleen on their ass. There's a problem though. When she goes looking around, she finds out that there was a war while she was in the tower, and that was why nobody came and got her, because her castle has been destroyed and her father was killed and her country doesn't even exist anymore. So bad luck for her. She decides to just forget about it. She goes to get some honest work. She was a princess, so there's not a lot she knows how to do, but she's really good at manners and things like that, so she becomes a lady's maid, you know. Yeah, I had some of those. They look like an okay job. She finds this lady to be a lady's maid too. She is fucking hideous. She is terrible to look at. And Maid Maleen is, you know, well, you know, a job's a job. Maybe she's got a nice personality. She doesn't have a nice personality. She's an asshole. And she's an asshole that's getting married. Hey. Thing is that asshole mistress's husband-to-be has never actually seen her. And she's like, let's keep it that way. I don't want to risk that he's gonna see me before we get married. I was thinking about wearing a veil, but that just doesn't seem safe enough. So, hey, Maleen, you're really pretty. How about you put on a veil and you go pretend to be me and get married? And she's like, if I have a veil on, you know, what's the bit? Oh, well. You know, what's she gonna do? It's her job. It's her job to make this girl happy. So she goes. Her groom is just picking her up, you know, outside the house, and they're gonna, you know, walk to the church. It's not, you know, a big deal. This is not a big romantic thing. You know, it's just a business transaction. So, she puts on the wedding clothes, and she puts on her veil, and she goes to meet her groom-to-be, and who do you think it is? It's her old boyfriend. And she's like, oh shit. You asshole. You are the one that never came and got me, even though you love me, and I was locked up in there for you. But she doesn't say anything. She doesn't say anything, because she's a good lady's maid, you know, and this is her job, is just to shut the fuck up. So they walk to the church. And as they go, they pass by a nettle plant. And Maleen looks at the nettle plant and says, ah, nettle plant, little nettle plant, I remember a time when I ate thee unbroiled, when I ate thee unroasted. And The groom is like, what? Were you talking to the? She's like, oh, never mind. Oh, I was just thinking about this folk tale that I heard about a princess. Yeah, who was locked away in a tower, and her man never came to get her. He's like, that's a weird folk tale. Where'd you hear that one? She's like, oh, around. So they keep walking, and they go across a little footbridge. And she says to the footbridge, break not. I am not the true bride. And he says, what'd you say? You're not the true, what was that? The true bride? She's like, oh, it's silly, it's like a song, you can't get out of your head. I'm just still thinking about that folk tale, about the princess and her asshole traitor lover, just a thing. It's just a thing. So, okay, so they keep going. And they get to the church, and she says, church door, break not. I am not the true bride. He says, there's that, I heard you this time. I heard that thing about the true bride. What's that? And she says, nothing. I was just thinking about that princess and how she never got married. She never got to walk through that church door, even though he promised. Just never mind me, let's get married. Bitch. So they get married. She refuses to kiss him because she would have to pick up the veil and he would see that it wasn't the lady he was supposed to marry. But he does attach a necklace around her neck after the vows. Then they go, to the real lady's house. She's like, I just gotta go freshen up for the reception. And she goes back there, and the real bride is waiting. Well, not the real bride. Her mistress is waiting. And she puts on the clothes, the wedding dress that Maid Maleen was wearing. And she goes out to meet her groom, sans veil. And he sees her and is like, the fuck is that? She's like, it's me. It's your bride. He's like, I married her. Oh God. Okay. Okay. How about this? If you're the girl that I walked to the church, what did you say to nettle plant? She goes, I don't talk to nettle plants. That would be crazy. And he's like, then you're not the girl. She goes, you know what? Actually, I forgot. Let me go talk to my handmaiden, because we're like that. And we're so close. And she just keeps all of my thoughts. So I'm going to go talk to her, and I'm going to come back to you on that. You wait right here, baby doll. Smoochy pie. She runs and talks. She's like, what the fuck did you say to the nettle plant? She says, I just told you, I remember when I ate the unbroiled, when I ate the unroasted. And her mistress is like, that's goddamn disgusting. But, okay, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna beat you later, though. All right. And she goes back out. She says, I said, I remember when I ate it unbroiled and roasted. And that's weird, but it's what I said. And the prince is like, okay, so if that's what you said, then what did you say to the footbridge? She said, I don't talk to footbridges. It's a trick question, because I definitely told me to shut the fuck up. He says, you're not the girl I married then. And she says, let me go talk to my handmaiden real fast. She runs back there and says, what did you fucking say to the footbridge? And Maleen says, I just said, break not, because I am not the true bride. She's like, not the true, oh my God. Okay, you know what? I am going to beat you later, like, with a stick. All right, I'm going to be back. If this is not the right thing, I'm going to be back. She runs back out there, and she's like, I said, break not. I am not the true bride, which is silly, because I'm definitely the true bride. Hi, hello, we got married. And he says, okay, so then what did you say to the church door? One second. What'd you say? She says, I said, break not, I'm not the true bride. And she's like, I swear to God, okay? I'm coming for your ass. She goes back out and says, I said, break not, I'm not the true bride, but I'm definitely the true bride. I am. He says, I'm so sorry, honey pie, sugar bear. It was my mistake, you know. Jitters, you know. Definitely, you're definitely the one I married. Except for, where's the necklace that I gave you? She says, the what? He says, why don't we go talk to your handmaiden? I bet she knows. And Maleen comes out. He says, it's you! And she says, yeah, it's me. I'm the handmaiden of your wife. And he says, no! Oh my God! Maleen! You thought I wouldn't recognize you? It's you! You're alive! You got out of the tower! It's really great. I'm great to hear that I wrote you. Do you not get it? I thought about you all the time. Kissy face. I love you. And her mistress is like, what? Do you know him? And Maleen walks up to the groom and she takes his hands and she looks him in the eye and she says, I've never met this unfaithful bitch in my life. Mazel tov. And she pieces out. Okay, that's not what happens in the Grimms, but it's what should have happened. Obviously in the Grimms, she gets with the prince and they live happily ever after a while, yada, 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 yada. Dope his ass! He's married dogly now. So I hope you enjoyed my version of Maid Maleen. And, as always, come talk to me about fairy tales and tell me what I should tell next.